guarding Emily S. Bowles, who is about 5'10", and Emily Johnson's only 5'4".
A big mismatch to see, but Bowles is very quick. Carolina did not get the timeout call that they wanted to, and the 5-second count expired, and the turnover now by Carolina. So both teams committing a turnover here in the early stages of the going. No score. Only one shot has been fired up, and that was by Charlotte Smith, Carolina. Carolina man-for-man defense. McKee against Hicks. No basket, and the foul will be called against Carrie McKee. First one of the game. And McKee will really have a challenge this afternoon, Heather, going against Hicks, because Hicks, even though she's a junior, she is a real veteran in women's basketball.
She sure is, and she's just a dominating player inside Reef. She gets wide, and she uses her height over Carrie to just take the ball and score.
Lee will trigger the inbounds play. Back to Mizwaki. There's Hicks.
You don't see her miss much.
She's 58% shooter from the floor. So's everybody else on Maryland. They got 4 of the 5 players on the floor right now. She's better than 50% from the field.
And only 3 of Carolina's players even shoot 50% from the field.
McKee inside against Hicks. He gets the basket and gets the foul.
Carrie McKee, when she gets the ball, she draws fouls so good. She takes the ball and she leans into the defensive opponent. She's been to the line 76 times this year, and that's leading the team.
The foul was on Jessie Hicks, and that's her first, and Carrie McKee will be at the free throw line. Her dad was connected with the Indiana Pacers sports promotion for a while.
Now he's with George Washington University in Virginia.
And McKee makes an old-fashioned three-pointer, and Carolina goes up by 3 at 3-0 with 18:39 left to play in the first half from Carmichael. Great pass underneath to Michelle Andrew. McKee and Andrew will tie up for the rebound, and the possession arrow is headed Maryland's way.
Carolina had changed to a zone that time, Reese.
Maryland 0 for 2 for the floor. Hicks has missed. Andrews missed twice now. 0 for 3. Got her own rebound. Foul Sampson. And Tonya almost got a technical foul from Harry Coffey after the call. First foul on Sampson. Second team foul against Carolina.
Andrews sure did get open really well that time. She just missed a wide open shot.
She's a 75% shooter at the free throw line, averaging 9 points per game. Is from Helsinki, Finland. The Finland team came through and played Maryland one year, and Chris Weller liked her so much after she was beaten by the Finnish team. She said, "Why don't you come play with us?" She makes both of them. Does Michelle Andrew, and now we have a 3-2 basketball game, and I quite frankly expect it to be that close most of the afternoon. Hand checking call against Bowles. First foul on Bowles, second team foul against Maryland. That's a call, Heather, as a player. You never know how it's going to go. Hand checking is sometimes a foul, sometimes it's not.
I know Coach Hatchell was excited about that call because at Maryland, Bowles was all over Emily, and they had the home court advantage that they couldn't get Bowles off of her, and Emily was really having a hard time.
Sampson for 3. Long rebound goes out of bounds, and that time Emily Johnson, rather than going for the rebound, Emily's job is to get back and be the stopper on defense. And as soon as the ball goes up, Emily will head south to play defense.
They're in a zone. Carolina's in a zone now. They're trying to stop Maryland's inside game. Maryland has such a good buddy system with the post system, the high-low game, that Carolina's trying to throw the zone on them to stop that.
After Carolina led 3-0, Maryland rips off 4 in a row. They take a 1-point advantage as Carolina tries to attack.
Now Maryland's in a zone.
Sampson too strong. Rebound coming off of Carrie McKee, picked off by Daphne Lee, and out to Mizwaki. Lenore Mizwaki looks for Daphne coming down the lane. Against Charlotte Smith, good defense. Has to kick it back out to Mizwaki. Mizwaki goes against Emily Johnson. Underneath to Hicks, rather to Andrew, and Michelle gets this one. Points now for Michelle Andrew, and it's a 6-3 Maryland advantage. 6-point run for Maryland.
Maryland's in an aggressive zone, but Carolina's still going to try to go inside.
Smith misses turnaround jumper. Rebound is Rocky. And Johnson called for the reach-around foul. 13 foul against Carolina. First foul on Emily Johnson, the 5'4" senior from Statesville. A couple of changes now coming into the Carolina lineup. Stephanie Lawrence and Sylvia Crawley come in. Crawley wears number 00. Crawley is normally a starter from Winterville, Ohio, averaging 8 points per game. Lawrence is a hot shot three-point shooter, freshman type. Good defense that time by Charlotte Smith. Tie up, possession area Carolina. A good defensive play that time by Charlotte Smith.
It sure was. She can just jump. She has an incredible vertical leap, kind of like her uncle David Thompson.
Smith with a very important role in this game today for Carolina. Johnson for three.
Carolina needs to get some rebounds.
Blocked that time by Sylvia Crawley, and Crawley is a shot blocker. Long pass to Sampson, checks where she is, misses the three-pointer. Battle for the rebound, freshman mistake by Charlotte Smith. Coming in aggressively that time, first foul on Smith, fourth team foul against Carolina, but 4 different players have the fouls.
Carolina has got to get on the offensive boards.
And with 15:59 left to play in the first half, and Maryland enjoying a 3-point lead, we've got a timeout, and we'll be right back.
From the kitchen of the real Sara Lee.
You have 6 people for dinner and no time to do dessert. What do? Take out a real Sara Lee strawberry cheesecake. Swirl chocolate sauce on individual plates. Then place a slice of that incredibly rich, silky, smooth cheesecake in the center. And when somebody asks...
Here we go to Carmichael Auditorium. And look at this replay from a year ago. Number 23 in white making the basket. Wow, you remember that one?
I sure do.
And as we come back live in 1992, Michelle Andrew is converting underneath the basket. 6 points now for Michelle Andrew and an 8-3. Maryland lead, their biggest of the afternoon. Carolina led 3-0.
Carolina needs to work it around for the open shot.
Another turnover. Sampson took a finger in the eye. Lee comes against Stephanie Lawrence. Daphne Lee shot no good. Rebound Sylvia Crawley, Carolina. Out it comes to Lawrence, down now to Sampson. Not a good pass. She recovers, looks around, and decides to kick it back out.
That was good hustle by Sylvia Crawley to get down the court, to be there for the rebound.
2 turnovers for Carolina, 1 for Maryland here this afternoon. Shot clock is under 10 as Sampson takes it down the lane, tries to feed it off. Shot clock's at 3. Lawrence out to Emily. She's got to put the prayer up. And the shot clock gets him. It goes over. It's not unusual right now to see Carolina miss. They have now made 1 out of 8 attempts from the floor. That's under 15% accuracy. Maryland has made 3 of 8 from the floor. Carolina is now 0 for 4 from three-point range. Andrew again inside. She's got 8 points, all of them from right inside the paint.
She's about up to her average, which is 9 points a game.
And Carolina is going to take a timeout. So we get a timeout on the floor with 14:39 left to play, and Maryland stretching that lead to 7.
California.
Carolina has shot 0 of 4 from the floor, from the three-point line, whereas when they played Maryland at Maryland, they came out and shot their first 5 three-pointers of the game.
And, of course, Carolina depends heavily on the three-point shot. They've attempted 313 of them this year. On the other hand, Maryland has attempted only 77. Tight Maryland defense right now that Sampson tries to go to the hook, and on the way she's fouled. It'll be the 3rd team foul against Maryland, and Leanne Kennedy is getting up off the Carolina bench to come back in. Daphne Lee getting her first foul for Maryland. Lawrence goes to the bench, and Kennedy comes in for Carolina. And Kennedy will be the young lady who will trigger the inbounds pass. She's the senior from Trinity, North Carolina.
Maryland has scouted. Looks like they've scouted Carolina really well.
On the second effort, Sylvia Crawley getting her first points of the afternoon. Carolina shooting now is 2 out of 10. They're up to 20%. Almost to the steal. Ms. Rocky, right side, it comes to Bowles. Rebound, Lee. And Daphne now with her first basket. And it is 12-5 in favor of Maryland.
Since Maryland's in the zone, Carolina needs to take advantage of the outside shot. It's so hard to score inside.
And Carolina's trying to take it inside every time down. They're getting one shot. It's Rocky against Sampson. Sampson kicks it. It'll belong with a new 30-second clock to Maryland. Sizzling Moore, Ms. Rocky. 21-year-old Israeli. An 8-year veteran of international play. So the American game is much quicker than the international game. She's hot right now for Maryland. As you can see by that basket. First time she took a shot today, she made it. 14-5. 9-point advantage now for the nation's #1 team over the number 21 Lady Tar Heels of Carolina. You cannot afford to get down a long way to Maryland. Smith chases it down. Sampson over Hicks. Three-pointer, Tanya Sampson.
I know Coach Hatchell is glad to see that. She probably wants Tanya Sampson to come on strong from that three-point line if they're going to sit back in the zone like that.
Right after they get the three, Carolina has to get back down the floor now and play defense. Hicks with the easy basket inside. I say easy, it was probably hard work, but she really made it look easy that time. 4 points now for Jessie Hicks. 12:26 left to play first half.
Carolina is going to have to get back because in Maryland's past 2 games, they've scored 99 and 100 points, so they love to run with the ball.
They shoot 50% from the floor, and against Florida State, they shot 70%. Sampson underneath doesn't get the basket, but she draws the foul from Michelle Andrew. 4th team foul against Maryland, and the 1st team foul against Michelle Andrew.
Well, it always seems that Maryland shoots very well against Carolina because in 1989 they set a school record of shooting 79% in one half. So they always shoot well against Carolina.
You see Katrina Colleton wearing number 12 for Maryland coming into the Terrapins lineup. Number 11, Dawn Bradley, has come into the Carolina lineup. Charlotte Smith went out. Sampson at the free throw line is only a 55% shooter there. Has 1 3-point field goal today.
In Maryland and Carolina's last outing at Maryland, Sampson was 2nd leading scorer with 16 points and had 7 rebounds.
He's got 5 now, and Carolina pulls to within 6 after having been down by as many as 9 and having led by 3. Colleton against Bradley. Goes inside to Hicks again. And Hicks takes it to the hoop. 6 points now for Jessie Hicks. We mentioned earlier she shoots 58% accuracy from the inside.
If I was Carolina, I would put more pressure on that passer that's passing it inside so that they can't get it inside so easily to Hicks.
Johnson to Kennedy. Now to Crawley. Turnaround jumper, Sylvia. Rebound, Bowles of Maryland. Quickly out to Ms. Rocky. Boy, Maryland left to run, and are they quick. Ms. Rocky. 2 out of 2 from the floor. 4 points. Carolina now trailing by 10 as Maryland doubles it at 20-10.
Carolina is going to have to get some rebounds. Reason the 4 games that they've lost on the boards, and they're going to have to rebound.
That time they attacked inside, and Sylvia Crawley was successful on the assist from Tanya Sampson, and it's 20-12. Again, they're working inside, and Sylvia Crawley with a push that time, committing her first personal foul and the 5th team foul charged against Carolina. Maryland's committed 4 team fouls. Crawley has gotten in foul trouble and out of a game 4 times this year, and in 3 of those 4, Carolina has lost. She's a critical player on the inside.
And she's Carolina's best defensive post player.
Bonnie Remkes, number 53 in red, comes in for Maryland. She was last year's ACC Rookie of the Year. Sampson on a nice save by Bradley. For Crawley, good stop by Crawley. Leanne for 3. Bradley rebound. Goes up, foul Rimkus or Mizrachi.
Crawley has done an exceptional job today of kicking it back out to the wing players. She realizes that she's being covered, and she realizes that she's got Rimkus on her, who's 6'4", almost Crawley's height, so she kicks it back out to the open person. She's done really well with that today.
That 5th Maryland team foul was charged to Limor Mizrachi, the sophomore from Israel. And Dawn Bradley will be at the free throw line. Bradley, a 5'11" junior from Columbia, South Carolina, averaging 4.7 a game.
She really brought up her average against Wake Forest, where she scored a career high of 23 points. Bradley is just an enthusiastic, aggressive player.
Bradley had 1 in the January 18th loss to Maryland at College Park. Now she's got 1 today. Now 2. And it's a 6-point Maryland lead now as Carolina goes on a 4-point run. Maryland is looking inside, and Crawley is really overplaying Bonnie Rimkus. Oh, Bowles, great baseline shot, even behind the basket that time, and still got it in. Her first basket of the afternoon, and now 5 players have scored for Maryland. Sampson trying to go underneath, and Crawley said that was my fault, but it's a turnover for Carolina. 3rd one this afternoon for Carolina. Maryland's turned it over once.
Bowles was a big key to Maryland's win earlier this season with 16 points.
Well, Bowles now has 4 in this one and right back to a 10-point lead. Answering Carolina's 4-point run with their own 4 points. Very quickly, Maryland.
Still Maryland in that zone.
We're halfway through the first half at Carmichael Auditorium. And Maryland gets the ball out of bounds off Tanya Sampson. A couple of changes now, 1 each. Estelle Christie, number 31, coming into the Maryland lineup. And Stephanie Lawrence replacing Tanya Sampson in the Carolina lineup. Mizrachi goes against Emily Johnson, and she gets around her, drives the lane, call for the travel.
She's probably used to that international where you have that extra step.
Little different rules in international basketball because you're able to take that 3rd step a lot of times.
She's played on that Israel national team since she was 14.
Inside to Crawley, and now Sylvia comes off the bench and contributes 6 for Carolina. It's an 8-point Maryland lead. Maryland working around the perimeter. You won't see them take a 3-point shot. Good defense this time down by Carolina. Shot clock's at 10. Shot clock's at 5.
That's one reason Maryland has such a high percentage shooting team, is because they'll work it around. They'll be patient for the open shot.
Best in the conference at 51% from the floor so far this season. Crawley out to the 3-point artist, Stephanie Lawrence. Now to Johnson and around to Leanne Kennedy. And again, Carolina going underneath. Quick shot by Lawrence, and Kennedy battles for the rebound. Knocked out of bounds by Estelle Christie, and Jessie Hicks is going to come back into the Maryland lineup.
Carolina did an exceptional job that time of passing it around, and the post players working good together until they could take an open shot too.
Well, there's that famous Carolina inbounds play. Crawley misses it this time, and Maryland coming down with a rebound to Mizrachi. Boy, Hicks off the bench and goes right to work. See if they count the basket. The foul is on Crawley, and the basket counts.
It's so hard to guard Hicks too because she is left-handed, and so that's even harder on Crawley.
That's Sylvia's 2nd foul, and the other Sylvia, Hatchell, on the Carolina bench is showing a little concern now. 28-16, a 12-point Maryland lead, biggest they've had this afternoon. Hicks adds another one to it. She's got 9. 8:16 left to play first half. Carolina jumped to a 3-0 lead but it's been all Maryland since then. Another miss from three-point range by Carolina's Stephanie Lawrence. Christie with a head fake. Long pass, and that time got away from Hicks. Crawley on the fall away. They're going to give her a couple of shots. It's the 16th foul against Maryland. Hicks picking up her second personal foul for Maryland. Getting a number of lineup changes here. We'll set those for you when play resumes. Right now, we've got Sylvia Crawley at the free throw line. We see 32 and 34. Sampson and Charlotte Smith coming back in for Carolina. Keisha Camper wears number 32 for Maryland. She's in.
Sylvia Crawley has really turned it on this year and last year. She was voted most improved last year, and so she's really played very good this season.
7 points now for Crawley, and we get a timeout with 7 minutes, 50 seconds left to go, and we'll be right back after these messages from our friends at Harris Teeter and Sara Lee.
From the kitchen of the real Sara Lee.
Your daughter calls. She can't find a babysitter, and the kids are coming over.
Heather is coming off some sensational field goal accuracy for the Terrapins, 65% so far. Carolina is struggling shooting and rebounding.
Exactly. And it is so hard to guard Maryland because they were going to work that ball around, and that's why they do get the open shots, because they're patient. They're just a fundamentally sound basketball team.
Maryland has 8 more rebounds than Carolina does, and Carolina is shooting 25% from the floor. Estelle Christie ripples the cords for her first 2 baskets, and now 8 players have scored for Maryland. Only Bonnie Remkus, number 53 in the game for Maryland right now, has not scored among those who played for Maryland. Emily Johnson off the screen. Again, a missed shot and then no offensive rebounding. Christie from just inside 2. Rebound coming out.
Carolina has got to rebound. They've only had 5 rebounds this half compared to Maryland's 13.
They got 13 now, that's right. Turnaround shot by Camper is rebounded by Gwendolyn Gillingham, who's come in the lineup for Carolina. As the pass comes in to Smith, the foul is committed by Camper.
I was talking to Coach Calder earlier, and that's what he said that Maryland's team loves to do. The post players, defensive post players, love to come around the other post player. They don't play with their lower body. A lot of times you see post players try to push on each other with their lower bodies, and Maryland does not do that. They move around on their feet and get around the post player and try to deflect the ball.
You saw Sylvia Hatchell talking to Tanya Sampson of a little bench coaching going on over there right now. Free throw put up by Charlotte Smith and missed. Christie working it inside to Remkus, kicks it back out. Around the horn it goes. Colleton has it now. Remkus, who hasn't scored. And Carolina coming up with a rebound that time. 6 rebounds now for Carolina. Emily Johnson, the floor leader, works against Christie. I tell you, you don't even get a half a step of breath in this Maryland crowd. Here this time, Christie trying to deny the pass to Smith, and Estelle Christie picks up her first foul. Maryland's over the limit, so we'll shoot 1-and-1 opportunity.
And Maryland starters, except for Mizraki, are getting a lot of rest.
That lady right there is Chris Weller, 17th year at Maryland, 347 career wins. She's only coached at Maryland, nowhere else in her collegiate career. A delightful lady to visit with before the game.
It seems like Charlotte Smith just can't hit anything today, and she's the one that kept Carolina in it against Maryland with 17 points and 11 rebounds.
Colleton against Lawrence, whistle foul. Push off, Stephanie Lawrence. First foul on Lawrence, 7th team foul against Carolina, so bonus time now for both clubs for almost 6 minutes left to go in the first half. It's a good look at number 33, Gwendolyn Gillingham from Floresville, Texas. She's a 6'7" freshman, tallest player in the conference. Not the tallest in her family, though.
No, she's got a 6'8" sister at Vanderbilt.
But they got some tall doorways and some long beds in that house. Colleton at the free throw line.
At least Gwendolyn did get a special bed for her dorm room here at UNC.
Colleton wears number 12. That's one of Chris Weller's superstitious numbers. The only losing season she had, no one wore number 12. And she said that will not happen again. Colleton wears it this year. And Maryland enjoys a 33-17 lead right now. The nation's #1 team in the country looking for their 11th win in a row. And Christie is called for hand checking. That was one of those times that it was a foul. Second foul on Christie.
Carolina's Leanne Kennedy and Charlotte Smith are trying to help out Emily Johnson. When Christie or Bowles is on Emily playing that full court pressure, they're trying to set the back screen, the blind side screen, so that to help Emily and to possibly draw a foul from the Maryland player. It just hasn't worked so far.
Carolina's Melissa Bowles coming in and Christie going to sit down. It's like the lady who named her husband Theory because it never worked. Emily Johnson is an 81% shooter at the free throw line. She'd be up among the leaders in the conference, but she hasn't taken enough free throws to qualify. Makes that one. It's Carolina within 15 points, 33-18.
She is among the leader in Carolina's history books with 76%. She's third in the history books.
Now there's Rocky with a high dribble that time. Wasn't called for the travel. Out to Bowles, who's working against Kennedy.
Carolina's in a matchup zone now. Oh, Gwendolyn
Great
had the
play
steal
by Gwendolyn
almost.
that time. Whistle foul, blocking call against Ms. Rocky. Second foul against Ms. Rocky. And Maryland is going to ask for a timeout. So we're going to get a Maryland timeout with 5:31 left to play in the first half. But the Terrapins are in command at Carmichael.
Some things are always reliable. Now there's something else. At South Trust Bank, we don't just talk about quality service, we guarantee it. We guarantee accurate statements and a fast response to your questions or problems. We guarantee prompt service in our lobby. And if you get less than our best, we'll pay you. You can bank on quality service at South Trust. Guaranteed.
Now Jen Air comes in red and blue. Your Jen Air dealer has the colorful details. Now Jen Air runs hot and cold. Your dealer has the cold facts.
For the full line of quality Jen Air and General Electric major appliances, come by our showroom at Martin Distributors on Yonkers Road, Raleigh.
At Food Lion, when you buy cosmetics, chips, magazines, and lots of other items.
Back at Carmichael Auditorium, Reese Edwards along with Heather Thompson. And Heather, all you have to do to see the story of this game is look at field goal shooting.
That's exactly right. And Maryland is just hot right now in shooting their field goals. They had shot 70% against Florida State in their win earlier this week with 101-70. And they don't miss. And it's very frustrating to Carolina, I'm sure, when they're only shooting 23%.
Maryland is first in the conference in field goal accuracy, 51% per game. They're shooting 58 here today. That's after, as Heather mentioned earlier in the week, shooting 70% against Florida State. Battle for the rebound, and now we're getting a whistle on the action. Gillingham getting her first personal foul. So we'll just simply walk down. A frustrated Sylvia Hatchell. 353 career wins for Sylvia Hatchell, and she's trying to get number 80 in her 6th year here at Carolina today. But she trails right now, 33-20, as Michelle Andrews, a 75% free throw shooter, number 7 in the conference, now has 9 points, 3 out of 3 at the line. Maryland has not missed from the free throw line. 6 out of 6, 6 out of 7. And Gillingham battles. Bowles ties up with her, and it'll belong to Maryland on the possession arrow.
Maryland set a record earlier against State this season when they shot 11-11 from the free throw line, which was 5th in the history of their program.
Bowles trying to trigger it in, and sort of a Chinese fire drill inbounds play that time as all 4 Maryland players were moving. Colleton against Sampson, almost stolen by Johnson.
Carolina's got the Twin Towers in now with Gillingham and Crawley.
Forcing the turnover on the steal. Three-pointer, Leanne Kennedy. Sampson rebounds and puts it back in.
Hopefully this will spark Carolina and let them get into the game and start scoring and rebounding.
34-22 in favor of Maryland as we go under 5 minutes left to play first half. Bowles drives on Kennedy. Rebound Gillingham. Boy, Gwendolyn has come in and made 3 great super plays.
She sure is, and she wants to be better. You know, Reese, she came over and talked to us earlier, telling all the people she had helping her. She just wants to be a better player.
Boy, that Maryland defense is something to watch.
It sure is.
12 seconds on the shot clock.
They're in man-to-man now, but they've actually played a lot of zone.
5 seconds on the shot clock. Excuse me, Heather.
That's what they actually play a lot of zone today when they usually only play zone like 5% of the time.
Carolina with another miss and no rebound. Maryland may be just a little bit tired right now. They're standing around right now. They've had those 5 players in the game for some time. Colleton shot misses. Crawley rebounds. So now they're rebounding on the defensive boards are the Lady Tar Heels, and they've got to go to work on the offensive boards or else start making the basket. (34-22). 12-point lead for Maryland. Nice pass in that time to Sylvia Crawley. Crawley gets the basket, her 9th point. The assist by Gillingham. 10 points now. Carolina's been down by as many as 16. Andrew went around Gillingham that time, got the basket and the foul on Gwendolyn Gillingham. That's her 2nd. And 11 points now for Michelle Andrew, the senior from Helsinki, Finland. Above her season's average of 9 per game with these 11 today.
Gillingham will sure go for the blocks. She loves to block shots. She averaged 7 block shots in high school, and then she had 6 earlier this year against Navy. So if you take it to her, she will definitely try to block it.
You know, she's a good player because she sat Bonnie Remkus down on the bench out of her starting role, and Bonnie had been the conference rookie of the year last year. Back to a 13-point Maryland lead. Sampson will try to cut it to 10 and does. 10 points for Tanya Sampson, a pair of 3-pointers. Doesn't slow Maryland down, though. Boy, they offensively come right back. Good rebounding position that time by Michelle Andrews. She misses the shot. Whistle jump ball called. It'll belong to Carolina.
I think that was a smart move by Coach Hatchell by having Crawley and Gillingham in the game at the same time. They're being intimidators to Maryland. If I was Coach Weller, I might start thinking about putting Jessie Hicks back into the game.
2:41 left to play in this first half from Carmichael Auditorium. And can Sampson back-to-back threes? Boy, there's a 6-point swing the last 2 times down by Tanya Sampson. And Carolina's got it to single digits. They trail by 7. Maryland answers, however, with a soft kiss off the glass by Keisha Camper.
With Tanya Sampson shooting these 3-pointers, that's something she loves to do. She has shot 102, will make it 104 this year, compared to Maryland's 77, their whole team. So Tanya loves to shoot that 3-point shot.
She's first in the conference in 3-point attempts per game. Sylvia Crawley can't get the roll, and Carolina cannot get the rebound. Comes off instead to Camper. Now Colleton, and loose underneath is Hicks. Gillingham, who has not made it down to play her man, recovered to come in and get the rebound.
One thing Gillingham does so well is she keeps the ball above her head so well. She's someone has just really drilled that into her head. She never brings it down below her neck.
There's it in the corner, going to take the shot. Gets the roll. Boy, that brings the crowd into action here. 2 points now for Gillingham, and it is 39-32 with a minute 23 left to play in the first half. And, well, now the cheerleaders have come out on the floor, and I am not sure. I think people thought somebody called a timeout. Nobody called a timeout. We count the players, and Sylvester Fuller says, I come out with 10, so let's go with it. 5 in the white suits and 5 in the red suits. The extra 2 have on striped shirts. Double dribble that time by Melissa Bowles. So Carolina forces the turnover. And Heather, they can cut it this time down. If they give it to Sampson, they can cut it to 4. Anybody else could cut it to 2. Tanya's red hot right now.
Well, they were getting the shots from Sampson to bring them back, and then the rebounds from Gwendolyn Gillingham and Crawley.
Sampson hits 39% from three-point range. Good defensive play that time by Camper. So Keisha has come off the Maryland bench. Just another one of those folks on that bench who can come in and give you quality time.
Well, when you have a #1 program, you can have a good bench.
Air ball put up that time by Katrina Colleton. Sampson chases it down, get it out now to Lawrence, and Emily says, wait a minute, hold it up. The senior take charge. Now to Lawrence for 3. High rebound, and they're going to call the foul on Sylvia Crawley, and that is a critical 3rd foul on Sylvia Crawley of Carolina. You can see Sylvia Hatchell getting upset about that one.
She almost put Leanne Kennedy in for Crawley, thinking it was Carrie McKee.
Now Carrie McKee does get off the bench and comes in to replace Crawley. 39-32 in favor of Maryland after leading by 16. Back-to-back three-pointers by Tanya Sampson got Carolina and the crowd back in here. Colleton now is at the free throw line, and she's 3 out of 3 there today, a 70% shooter, and 5 points.
You know Maryland's a good program when one of the players off their bench played on the 1991 U.S. Junior National Team, as Colleton did.
6 points now for Colleton. 4 of those 6 have come at the free throw line, and Maryland goes back on top by 9. You're looking at the game clock. The shot clock's at 24, about 3 seconds difference. Long pass across to Emily Johnson, and now to Bradley. Quick recovery by Camper, but Bradley puts it over her anyway. 41-34. Carolina within 7 again. Remember, Maryland is the nation's top-ranked team. They've won 19 of 20 this year. Rebound Sampson. And the last gasp effort doesn't work. So the first half comes to a close, and the Lady Tar Heels head for the dressing room, down by only 7 after having trailed by as many as 16. We'll be back with our halftime show after this pause for station identification.
Without losing that great clean feel.
I gotta get my hands on, ooh.
Get your hands on water-based Prel shampoo and Prel conditioner.
In front of strangers at 30,000 feet? Not till I switched. Now I fix it and forget it.
That's good. When people are watching you this closely, you just can't be worried about your dentures. That's why I Fix-It-Dent and forget it.
Fix-It-Dent holds stronger than any other adhesive. It even stands up to the hottest liquids.
Taste it, Grandpa.
He never would have tried this with his old adhesive.
For the strongest hold you can get, Fix-It-Dent and forget it.
We're back. Carolina has been the lack of output at the offensive end of the floor.
It sure has, Reese, and they just haven't had the open shot. They haven't worked the ball around, and then finally when they do get a chance to shoot, they don't get the offensive rebound. So it's definitely been the poor shooting and the offensive rebounding, or rebounding, period.
And then to compound things, when they get down to the Maryland end of the floor, there's no rebounding to get because Maryland is shooting about 60% from the floor here in the first half. But I think that when you're playing against the nation's #1 team and you go into the dressing room, first of all, you're down only by 7. You were down by 16 in that first half, so you got a little bit of a confidence pickup in making a run to cut it.
That's right. And then Carolina goes into the dressing room with the momentum going, and I think the first 2 minutes in the second half will be crucial to both teams. So I think Carolina will be pumped up to come out and try to get their offense going.
Well, win, lose, or draw in this matchup against Maryland today, Carolina has had a super sensational season. They have 16 wins out of their first 20 games. It's the best in the last 4 years here at Chapel Hill. And one of the reasons, well, it's hard to say one of the reasons. There are a number of reasons that Carolina is much better this year. And Heather has an outlook and a report on what makes Carolina so great this year.
Can they be that close? Just let me state for the record, we're giving love in a family dose. We are family. Hey, I got all my sisters with me. We are family.
What's really behind Miss Lady Tar Heels' 1992 basketball success story? Sure, there are some new faces, even some old faces, reflecting the sparkle of new enthusiasm for the game. But the inside story is the Carolina family. Coach Hatchell, Coach Carter, and Coach Applin have become like mom and dad, and teammates have become like sisters. They work together through the good times and the bad times. Problems, whether they are basketball, academics, or even personal, are shared by the team and coaches. These family members are truly friends, on and off the court, sharing moments of happiness, security, love, and working hard and playing hard. The newest family members, the freshmen, come to UNC overwhelmed by time management and the size of the university. But as athletes, they draw strength from each other, with upperclassmen supporting, helping, and encouraging. And this family support gives athletes security that other UNC students may not feel. Before the first points were scored in November, this team was already coming together with Bible study, parties, hayrides, even a trip to Disney World that took them all back to their childhood days when they weren't afraid to sing Mickey Mouse.
Well, the Carolina family, produced by my colleague Heather Thompson, who was a part of that family on the floor last year, and I think you're still a part of that family.
I think I am too.
It was a well-done feature, and it was neat to go behind the scenes like that and see the close-knit family atmosphere that this Carolina team has. They're down right now by 7 at the half. We'll be back to take a look at another of the Carolina stars when our halftime show continues from Carmichael.
from the kitchen of the real Sara Lee.
Your daughter calls. She can't find a babysitter, and the kids are coming over in 15 minutes. Here's something fun to do. Take out a real Sara Lee pound cake, slice it, then take fresh fruit like strawberries and bananas.
Time now for the South Trust Bank halftime stats, brought to you by South Trust Bank. Quality service guaranteed. Well, Heather, the highlighted numbers really tell it right now, because we're looking at the three-point efforts for North Carolina and the rebounding totals for Maryland.
Yes, and Tanya Sampson has really turned it on for Carolina, and she's hit 3 of 5 from the three-point line. And Ms. Rocky, if Maryland does take three-pointers, she's the one that's going to do it. She took them at Maryland earlier this year when she hit 4 out of 5, and she just has not taken any.
So 35% shooting by Carolina, 48% for Maryland. But right now, back to the business at hand in Chapel Hill, 41-34. Maryland in command and with the basketball. They had a 16-point advantage in that first half. Carolina led by 3. Hicks goes right to work against Carrie McKee.
That was a beautiful hook shot by Hicks.
11 points now for the junior from Richmond, Virginia. She averages 14.5 a game. Bowles is chasing Johnson to Sampson. 15 points for Tanya Sampson. 43-36. Again, 7-point lead. Pass down to Bowles, and she puts it up over Kennedy. So Maryland 2 out of 2 shooting to start the second half, right where they left off.
Carolina's just got to be aware of where Maryland's players are.
Going inside, stolen away by Hicks. Out it comes now to Ms. Rocky. And Sampson just couldn't help that one. But it counts as her second personal foul. First team foul against Carolina this half. Ms. Rocky didn't put out her stop sign on that one. One of the great lines about Limor Ms. Rocky came from Clemson coach Jim Davis. Ms. Rocky this time last year was in the Israeli army. Steal by Johnson. Dodging Scud missiles in the Persian Gulf War. Jim Davis said, ain't no way a full court press is going to bother her. McKee second for effort. 5 points now for McKee. That's what Carolina didn't have in the first half, Heather.
You don't see that much. Carrie McKee putting the ball on the floor and driving it to the basket. She loves to play with her back to the basket. And you don't see that much either. Jesse Hicks banking the ball off the backboard.
Charlotte Smith goes reverse layup. McKee battles for the rebound. Smith takes it away, misses. Hicks rebounds Maryland. And then out to Ms. Rocky. Boy, does she run this ball club. Lead pass a little long that time. It'll be a tie-up ball and belong to Carolina on the possession arrow. So that may be a news bulletin. 2 times down, Maryland doesn't score.
The first 2 minutes are the most crucial minutes of the ball game of the second half. That's what Coach Hatcher used to always tell us last year in the locker room.
It's a standoff right now. There was a 7-point halftime deficit. We played almost 2 minutes, 18 minutes, 12 seconds left to go in the basketball game from Chapel Hill, and it's still a 7-point Maryland lead. Now Bowles is going to pester Emily from baseline to baseline. There's no 10-second violation in women's basketball, so don't get excited about the time spent in the backcourt here. Shot clock, though, is at 15. Kennedy. And tie ball this time will belong to Maryland. 17:48 left to go in the game. Maryland leads at 45-38. Reese Edwards along with Heather Thompson. Delighted you joined us today for this battle between the nation's 21st ranked Tar Heels and the top-ranked Maryland Terrapins. Another turnover for Maryland.
Both these teams do not make many turnovers. I'm surprised at Maryland's turnovers today.
9 in the first half for Maryland.
Bowles right in front of us, I hear her saying to Emily Johnson, come on, come on, come on.
Well, Maryland, with that tight defense, they have been all over Carolina all afternoon. Shot clock's at 5. Sampson out of the corner. Shot clock still running because it didn't hit the rim. Now it's reset. Maryland possession. Lee loses it. Stolen away by Johnson. 3-on-1. Now Hicks makes it 3-on-2. Charlotte Smith blocked by Hicks. She's the best in the conference at that. That's her 32nd block this year, and the foul is on Kennedy. First foul on Kennedy, second foul on Carolina this half, and boy, did Jessie Hicks turn that one around.
She sure did, and she loves to block shots. She had 6 earlier against Florida State.
She's number 1 in the conference, as we mentioned. That's her 32nd block of the year. Carolina went from a 3-2 advantage to a Jessie Hicks disadvantage. And then getting the foul committed by Leanne Kennedy. Still 45-38. Teams just have exchanged baskets here in the second half so far.
Carolina's in a man-to-man.
Steal by Sampson that time. She'll outrun Mizrachi. 17 points for Tanya Sampson. And it's a 5-point Maryland lead. As driving to the basket is Alyssa Bowles, and she was fouled. And if it is on 0-0, no, it's on Charlotte Smith.
I know Coach had to sign with relief there.
I think I heard her say, oh. That would have been Crawley's 4th personal foul. Bowles didn't go to the free throw line in the first half. She had 4 points. She has 2 this half.
She's a 70% free throw shooter. And she was first team Kodak All-American for her at her junior college at Sullivan.
Well, the Carolina offense sits down. Tanya Sampson with 17 points, and Leanne Kennedy takes back out to replace her. And Bowles makes both of them. 16:29 left to play.
Sampson was out of practice yesterday because she was feeling kind of sick. She had the flu and a fever.
Bowles called for the foul against Emily Johnson. First team foul this half against Maryland, and it is the second foul on Bowles. Other than Sylvia Crawley with 3 personal fouls, nobody on either team is in foul danger right now. 7-point Maryland lead. Carolina's been within 5 this half. Smith held by Hicks. Now, that's the 3rd foul on Jessie Hicks. The 6'4" junior from Richmond. Hicks has 11 points in this one this afternoon. Change now in the Maryland lineup as Jessie Hicks goes to the bench, and she is replaced by Keisha Camper, who is a freshman from Salisbury, Maryland. A little inbounds play they try to run, and they find Charlotte Smith this time underneath the basket. Good move by Smith. That's the first 2 points of the game for Charlotte Smith. 5-point Maryland lead now.
That was easier for Smith to do when they replaced a 6'4" Jessie Hicks with a 6-foot Camper.
Oh, very good point. Lee against Lawrence. Rebound coming off to Smith. So Charlotte Smith now at both ends of the court for the white-clad Tar Heel ladies.
If Carolina can score here, they can get the momentum going. Well,
and they get a turnover to Mizrachi. They come right back with a quick pass to Bowles. Bowles' shot is up. It is good, and she's fouled by Johnson. So there's the possibility of a 5-point swing. 10 points now for Bowles. It's the second foul on Johnson, the 4th team foul against Carolina. And instead of getting 2 points on Carolina's trip down, they toss it away. Maryland comes back and gets the basket, and possibly a 3-point play if Bowles makes this free throw. He's perfect at the line this afternoon, 2 out of 2. Had 16 in the first game against Carolina. She's got 11, and we've got a timeout with 15 and a half minutes left to go in the game, and Maryland up by 7.
A friend of mine once asked me how to lose 30 pounds. I told him, 1 pound at a time. Now, a pound isn't very much, But if you lose one every week, it adds up to a lot. Tried and true advice. Same at Winn-Dixie. Saving a few cents isn't very much, but save it on just about every item, every day, and it adds up to a lot. How you doing? Little things add up to a lot at Winn-Dixie.
They say you can see the future in the palm of your hand. Behold, JVC's smallest camcorder ever, with all the right features, from full-range autofocus to low-light sensitivity to title graphics. Plus, it easily plays in your VHS VCR. So at a mere 26 ounces, the future really is in the palm of your hand. JVC.
Well, we're back at Carmichael Auditorium, and you can see an 8-point advantage now for Maryland. And Heather, that was just a very unfortunate time down the floor for Carolina that time. Instead of getting a basket and cutting a 5-point lead to 3, they turn it over, and Maryland comes back and converts on 3 points. And so now you find yourself down by 8. 36% shooting this half for Carolina. Or for the game, they're 15 of 41, and Maryland shooting 51%. Carolina this half is shooting 40%. Crystal Lennon is our statistician today.
Maryland's again in their aggressive man-to-man, which they play 95% of the time.
Shot clock is at 8. Oh, Smith turns around. 4 points now. All this half for Charlotte Smith. Back to a 5-point lead now for Maryland. There you're seeing some quality Atlantic Coast Conference women's basketball action today. Maryland not really a surprise to anyone, expecting them to be 1 or 2 in the conference this year, but Carolina was picked dead last, and now they're 3rd. Rebound, Crawley. Sylvia Crawley is so critical to Carolina. Smith underneath. 6 points this half for Charlotte Smith. He makes it a 4-point lead, 50 to 46. Daphne Lee to Ms. Rocky. Lawrence call for holding Daphne Lee. It's the 5th team foul against Carolina this half. Maryland has committed only 2. Second foul on Lawrence.
So at least they're not letting them hand check and push. They're really calling that tight, the pushing and the hand checking, either team.
Michelle Andrew, rebound Crawley again. Crossed out of bounds, and it was hit by Bowles. And Bowles says to Sylvester Fuller, "You can't be serious." He said, "Yes, you touched it." So Carolina gets it, and Emily Johnson brings her team down, trailing by 4. They do something here, it'll be as close as they've been since the opening minute of play.
Maryland sure is switching defenses a lot.
Crawley going to the basket is fouled by either Daphne Lee or Michelle Andrew. It was Daphne Lee. Second foul. 3rd team foul against Maryland. So Crawley, who has made one and missed one at the free throw line in the first half for Carolina, will go to the line. 9 points total. 13:34 left to play.
What you said earlier about Crawley definitely being important to the team, she sure is. Not just in scoring, she is just an intimidating factor in the middle with her height, and especially her defense is very important to this Carolina team, and her rebounding.
Just 5 rebounds today to go along with her 9 points. We're going to get a lane violation against Maryland. That time Crawley had faked everybody out. Melissa Bowles said, "Wait a minute, what's going on?" Charlotte Smith almost went in the lane with her.
I think that time it was to see who was the most acrobatic and the most balanced.
And Daphne Lee collides with Charlotte Smith, going for the rebound, And it's the fourth Maryland foul, and it is the third foul on Daphne Lee. And quickly, Katrina Colleton comes off the bench for this lady, Chris Weller. She's taken her team to the Final Four on 3 occasions in her 17 years at Maryland. She's won 8 Atlantic Coast Conference titles, and at the start of the season, she said this could be her best Maryland team ever. They're bearing her out so far. Kennedy misses deep in the corner. Rebound comes off to Maryland. This is Colleton. Inside to Andrew. Blocked by Crawley. Foul on Smith.
That was a great block by Crawley.
Third foul against Charlotte Smith, who pushed from behind that time.
Too bad Smith had to be there for the foul.
52-48 on the basket by Sampson, and she's fouled.
When Sampson's in the game, in shooting the ball, she just has so much concentration. I mean, you could throw something at her and she would not see it. She is so focused on that basket.
That foul was on Michelle Andrew. It's the 5th team foul against Maryland. And they say it's the first against Andrew. I had it down as her second. Sampson finishes off the 3-point play, and she's got 20. 52-49, 3 points. Closest Carolina's been since they led 3-0, and Maryland just ran off and left them after that. Tipped by Sampson, stolen by Sampson, jump ball. Advantage Maryland. No, it'll be advantage Carolina. This gal is playing some kind of basketball game for Carolina. Number 34, the sophomore from Clinton, North Carolina, the high school teammate of Danielle Parker at Clinton. Parker now playing for North Carolina State. And Sampson with 22. It is 52-51.
Coach Weller's got to put some defense on Sampson.
Carolina was down by 16 in the first half, down by 7 at the half. Now they're down by 1. Shot clock goes to it.
In the ball game.
Goes to 18 as Mizrachi tries to go. Carolina shuts them off defensively, and Colleton will take it in with 10 seconds on the clock. 5 seconds on the clock. Oh, Mizrachi with 1. And it was a 2-pointer. 6 points now for Mizrachi. 54-51.
I love Mizrachi, how she plays. She is just so calm, just shoots the ball, no problem. There may be 3 seconds left.
Charlotte Smith misses. Rebound, Bowles of Maryland. Sampson tried to get the steal, and Mizrachi coolly pops in back-to-back 2-pointers and takes her team from a 1-point lead up to a 5-point lead.
Mizrachi is Maryland's go-to player. If they're in trouble, they want Mizrachi to have it.
Emily Johnson to Sampson for 3. Rebound Hicks. Now Carolina's offensive rebounding is slow. Oh, great pass, Mizrachi. Rebound out to Johnson. 2-on-1. Johnson and Sampson. Well, it went off the leg of Mizrachi. We'll reset the 30-second clock. It'll belong to Carolina, and that will all happen when we come back. Right now, there's a break in the action at Carmichael Auditorium with Maryland on top by 5.
From the kitchen of the real Sara Lee.
You have 6 people for dinner and no time to do dessert. What do? Take out a real Sara Lee strawberry cheesecake, swirl chocolate sauce on individual plates, then place a slice of that incredibly rich, silky, smooth cheesecake in the center. And when somebody asks, who made this delicious dessert? Look them straight in the eye and say you did, and mean it.
Nobody does it like Sara Lee.
Body Works in Burlington offers 24-hour towing to help you out of your crunch. Terrell's also specializes in insurance claims and factory procedure body.
Looking at rebounds, Heather, for both of these ball clubs, Maryland has 4 players with 5 rebounds apiece, and Carolina has 3. So it's been a great battle on the boards, and Carolina's doing better this half than they did the first half. Carolina's also shooting better this half. Smith just not getting the roll that time, and Mizraki comes out. He's got the last 4 for Maryland. Steal by Stanton. Still outrun Mizraki, but watch Colleton come over. But Sampson beats her too. 24 for Tanya Sampson. 3-point lead. And Crawley's got 4 personal fouls. She had 3 in the first half, and she was able to play for almost 11.5 minutes before getting her 4th one this half. And immediately, Gwendolyn Gillingham comes in for Carolina, the freshman from Texas, the tall Texan, who really played a fine little piece of basketball for 2 or 3 minutes that she was in the first half. She had 3 rebounds and scored a point. 2 points, in fact. Here you see Sylvia Crawley going to the Carolina bench. Hicks going to the line for Maryland. 1 out of 1 there tonight. And gets out. He's got 12.
Tanya Sampson has really turned it on defensively, not just offensively, with those steals.
And Smith gets her 6th rebound of the afternoon. Gets it out to Sampson. Three-point try, Stephanie Lawrence. Rebound, Charlotte Smith. Gillingham gets the basket. 4 points for Gillingham. It's a 2-point Maryland lead.
It's not hard to pass to those 6-7 hands.
Now Hicks against Gillingham. See what she does here. And is she called for the foul, or is Gillingham going to be called for the foul? They're going to call it on Gillingham, although she took the arm and the push away from Jessie Hicks. 3rd foul on Gillingham, 7th team foul against Carolina, so bonus opportunity. You can see that Sylvia Hatchell can't believe that. Gillingham is checking her jaw to see if it's still there.
Again, Jessie Hicks tries the hook shot, and it's right-handed, so obviously she can do both, right hand and left hand. I guess when you're up from Naismith Award, you can about do anything you want.
You got to be good. 14 points for Jessie Hicks. Now 4-point Maryland lead. Midway the second half. We got 10 minutes to go. Sit back and enjoy this one. Inside Gillingham, out to Charlotte Smith. Long rebound. Smith battles for it. Whistle, foul. And it'll be called on Michelle Andrew for pushing off Smith as Charlotte was trying to go for the ball. 2nd foul on Andrews. 16th foul against Maryland this half. Both of these ball clubs average better than 80 points per game, and both are great defensive teams. Maryland giving up only 59 points per game, and Carolina only 62. Sampson, too strong, got time. Rebound, Colleton, Maryland, out to Mizraki. Nice box out by Stephanie Lawrence, and she got the rebound because she played good box out defense. Takes the 3, block. Rebound, Smith. Up against Hicks, whistle, foul. Hicks now with 4 personal fouls.
That was smart of Charlotte Smith to take it right to Hicks. Anytime a player has 3 fouls, especially a player like Hicks, take it to them.
Charlotte Smith with 8 rebounds now for Carolina. They're along with her 6 points, but she's 0 for 3 at the line. That's the only really weak part of Charlotte's game, as her free throw shooting is not what she would like for it to be. Certainly. 0 for 3 today. Boy, she hit that one. 7 points now for the freshman from Shelby.
I think sometimes being at the free throw line is a mental thing because Charlotte Smith has a great field goal percentage, but when you're at the free throw line, you have to really think about it and concentrate. And
nothing but net that time, Heather, on both of those. 2-point lead now for Maryland. These teams battled about 3 weeks ago in Maryland. Maryland won it by 4, but with 20 seconds to go, it was a 2-point Maryland lead in that game. Colleton, stopped by Lawrence. Mizraki for 3. The loose ball was picked up by Daphne Lee, and she's fouled by Tanya Sampson. That's the 3rd foul on Sampson. Lee will go to the free throw line. Daphne has been very quiet here today. Offensively, only 2 points. She averages 8.5 a game.
Lee was voted their best defensive player last season. But she can score, too, because she had 39 points against, set a career mark for Maryland, scoring 39 points.
61-57. Maryland back on top by 4. 8:45 left to go in the game. Maryland led by 7 at the half. They led by 16 in the first half of play before Carolina started to chop away. Smith, whoa, rebound Lee, and she really came down. She fell off of Charlotte Smith. Now she bounces right back up, but that one hurt all the way over here.
I don't think Sylvester Fuller could have seen that one because Lee was blocking his view from Charlotte Smith. Charlotte Smith just turned around to run, and
that's 4 personal fouls now on Charlotte Smith. And Sylvia Crawley, who is coming in for Carolina, also is going to be playing with 4 personal fouls. So Jessie Hicks on the Maryland bench right now with 4 personal fouls, and Charlotte Smith goes to the Carolina bench. She has 8 points this half, does Charlotte Smith, along with 8 rebounds. Daphne Lee, who just made 2 at the free throw line a moment ago, is right back there again. She gives her team a 5-point lead.
I really like this Carolina lineup with Gwendolyn Gillingham and Sylvia Crawley, and I like the Twin Towers.
The Birds 6'4" and 6'7". And Lee now with 6 points on the afternoon, and it is 63-57 as Carolina trails in their battle to knock off the nation's top-ranked team. 3rd time this year they've gone up against a top-ranked team in the country. Virginia once and Maryland twice. Kennedy underneath to Crawley. Rebound, tapped out of bounds by Mizrachi.
Gwendolyn Gillingham scared me a little bit around that 3-point line. She's 100% from the line, shooting 1 of 1, where she scored 1 in a desperation shot at Winthrop.
I was going to say, that's not a set offensive play. 6'7" point guard. She's got the ball in her hands right now. Ooh, just dishes out. Rebound comes off to Maryland's Michelle Andrew. This young lady here has had quite a game for Maryland. Oh, battles for the rebound, tied up, jump ball, it belongs to Maryland. 7:53 left to go in the game, and we're going to take a timeout with Maryland enjoying a 63-57 lead. We'll be right back.
From the kitchen of the real Sara Lee.
Why make a homemade pie?
Along with Heather Thompson, and it is 63-57 in favor of Maryland. The turning point came with a score 52-51 in favor of Maryland, and then Limor Mizrachi got hot for back-to-back baskets to put Maryland back on top, and they've been in command since that little spurt. But we still have 7:53 left to go as the Carolina cheerleaders get the crowd pumped up here at Carmichael. Maryland has the basketball. Colleton trying to trigger it in. She gets it back in her hands down in the corner. Stopped away by Crawley. It's not a wise move with 4 personal fouls to be reaching like that. She got by with it that time. Here's Andrew against Crawley. Kicks it out now to Bowles. Her shot good. Melissa Bowles has 13. 9 of those this half. Maryland stretches it back now to an 8-point lead. They led by 7 at the half. Inside Crawley.
Maryland comes out of that timeout with a zone.
3-point try by Emily Johnson. Chased down in the corner by Leanne Kennedy. Emily's going to try it again. Nope, go inside to Crawley. Turnaround jumper, good, Crawley.
I thought Crawley was going to pass it back out, but she said, wait a minute, I think I'm open, and takes it up for the shot.
I thought it was going to take it inside as you did and then kick it back out for the 3-point try. Carolina now makes it a 6-point Maryland lead. Maryland staying in command with Jessie Hicks on the bench. Here's Mizrachi trying to go. The basket, well, I don't know whether they're giving the basket or not. The foul could have been on, they count it. They count the basket and the foul's on Emily Johnson. third foul on Emily.
Coach Hatchell does not like that call at all.
10 points now for Lamora Mizraki. And Mizraki, who has 5 field goals and 6 rebounds, 2 assists, and 3 turnovers on her ledger today.
She's a great free throw shooter, shooting 89%.
89%. 68-59, 6.5 minutes left to go. Maryland zone defense. That's the way you break a zone. 68-62, 6-point Maryland lead. Carolina's got to play defense this time down. Andrew against Crawley, whistle foul, and it'll be number 5 on Sylvia Crawley, I think.
Sylvia Crawley sure was playing aggressive to have 4 fouls. That surprised me a little bit there.
Well, Andrew knew she had 4 fouls, and she went right at her. So 11 points for Sylvia Crawley, and she leaves with 6:13 left to play, and Crawley also had 5 rebounds. So as we mentioned earlier, Crawley now has fouled out of 5 games this year, and Carolina lost 3 of the 4 she fouled out of before. The latest, as we look at Chris Weller, the latest foul out for Crawley before today was against North Carolina State. Carolina lost that one. Fouled out in the Virginia game, they lost that. Andrew. Michelle Andrews got 15 points. 7 of them from the free throw line. She's 7 out of 8. Maryland has not missed but 1 from the free throw line this half. 16 points for Andrew. 15 out of 16 this half at the line from Maryland.
Carolina is trying to spread that zone out of Maryland's.
Charlotte Smith gets the basket for Carolina. 10 points for Charlotte all this half.
Charlotte Smith has such a beautiful touch and a great arc on the ball.
Michelle Andrew, 3 on the baseline. And she's got 18. 72-64. The end of today's game. Heather and I will be selecting the Harris Teeter Sara Lee players of the game, 1 for each team. Sampson trying to go and is fouled by Bowles. 3rd foul on Bowles. Bonus time at the free throw line for Tanya Sampson. Sampson with 24 this afternoon. Has made 3 out of 3 at the free throw line. He's also made 3 3-point tries.
For Tanya Sampson to have not practiced yesterday and to have been sick, she sure is turning it on today and playing out of her mind.
Sampson is an absolutely great athlete. 25. If you're wondering, her career high is 32. 72-65 in favor of Maryland. 26 for Sampson. 5:19 left to go in the game. Carolina has gut check time right now. Mizraki and Colleton play in catch. Now Andrew gets involved with it. Shot clock's at 15. Smith bats it away. Captured again by Maryland. Bowles takes it to the basket and gets the roll. 15 points for Bowles, and she's had 2 critical field goals here almost back to back. 8-point Maryland lead. Carolina cut it to within 1 at 52-51 this half. As Rocky stretched it out for Maryland. McKee inside. Rebound Colleton.
Maryland's playing tremendous defense, and Carolina just can't get an uncontested shot.
Shot clock is under 15. Daphne Lee, whistle, foul, and I think they're going to call Charlotte Smith, they are, for backing into her. That'll be 5 on Charlotte Smith.
Those are two players, Sylvia Crawley and Charlotte Smith, that Carolina does not want to be out of that lineup.
Sylvia Crawley went to the bench with 5 personal fouls just 2 minutes ago at the 6:13 mark. And now at the 4:16 mark, Charlotte Smith goes out with 10 points on the afternoon. But she was big on the boards with 8.
Charlotte Smith has had 8 double-doubles so far this year. Even though she didn't get it today, she's a tremendous athlete, tremendous player.
Well, she's had 2 good games against Maryland this year in the 2 times these two teams played. She had 17 at College Park, and then she got 10 here today. Daphne Lee is at the free throw line for Maryland, and Lee is perfect at the line, now 5 out of 5, and 7 points. Talk about a well-balanced attack now. As Dawn Bradley comes into the Carolina lineup, replacing Carrie McKee. Is Rocky with 11 points, Bowles with 15, Hicks with 14, and Michelle Andrew with 18. For Maryland. For Carolina, Sampson has 26 to lead the Lady Tar Heels.
Lee hurt Carolina last year when Maryland beat Carolina with 20 points.
Daphne Lee is one of those players that, having followed women's basketball for several years in the conference, it seems like she's been around for 100 years. Leanne Kennedy goes into our cameraman's lap underneath the Carolina basket. And the ball will go over to Maryland, but we're going to take a timeout and regroup right now. With 3:59 left to go in the game, Maryland has stretched out its lead to 10 points.
From the kitchen of the real Sara Lee.
Your daughter calls. She can't find a babysitter, and the kids are coming over in 15 minutes. Here's something fun to do. Take out a real Sara Lee pound cake, slice it. Then take fresh fruit like strawberries and bananas and whipped cream and spread them on in layers. And when the kids get there, tell them, Grandma has done something very special for them, as usual.
Nobody does it like Sara Lee.
And it'll be their second home court loss, and some road games still coming up. Next one will be at Duke. Next contest for Carolina. Lee takes it down the baseline, puts it up left-handed, and now she's got 10 points. 78-66, 12-point lead for Maryland. Rebound, Leanne Kennedy. Hicks has to let her shoot. Doesn't go. Rebound captured by Gillingham. 6 points now for the freshman from Floresville, Texas. And it's a 10-point Maryland lead, under 3.5 minutes to play. You say, Heather, this gal, Ms. Rocky, is really cool under fire. Tipped by Sampson, out of bounds, belongs to Maryland.
Number 24 right there, Lee, is just a tremendous athlete. She seems like the kind of player that's going to do whatever it takes. Score, defense, it doesn't matter. She's going to do whatever it takes for the team to win.
There's Hicks putting up that left-hander, and she's fouled by Gillingham. It's the 4th foul on Gwendolyn Gillingham for Carolina. You remember when North Carolina State played Carolina here in Carmichael earlier this year, all of the post players fouled out for State, and they ended up with a 5'10 freshman playing post. Carolina is going to be in about that shape because Charlotte Smith has fouled out, Sylvia Crawley's fouled out, now Gillingham has 4 personal fouls.
Well, Maryland has an inside game. They love the high-low game, and they've just really taken it to our Carolina post players today.
18 out of 20 from the free throw line this half for Maryland. Bradley put Hicks on her hip, got the pass, and made the basket. 6 points now for Bradley. Maryland coming back quickly, slapped by Sampson, picked off by Emily Johnson of Carolina, and Emily runs it right down the center, puts the basket up and going.
Carolina's got the pressure on Maryland, and you can hear this crowd.
All right, 7-point game now with 2:45 to play. Hicks is fouled by Emily Johnson, and that's 4 on Emily Johnson. We're going to take a second and run down the foul situation for both ball clubs right now. Sampson with 3 personal fouls for Carolina. Johnson has 4. Crawley's gone. Smith is gone. Leanne Kennedy has only 1. Stephanie Lawrence 2. Gillingham 4. That's the situation for Carolina. For Maryland is Rocky with 2, Bowles with 3, Hicks with 4, Lee with 3, and Andrew with 2, and Christie with 2. Hicks now with 16 points this afternoon.
Reese, while you were reading that, Chris Wheeler, right now, she's over there knocking on her head. She was on the Oprah Winfrey Show in the summer of 1990 for how superstitious that she is.
I tell you, Chris is one superstitious lady. Kennedy for 3. Got it.
Since Carolina's winning, it's amazing how much support that they are receiving.
Carolina trapping defense in the backcourt. And they turn it over. So Carolina has the basketball. They trail by 6 points with 2:25 to go. And they force that Maryland turnover. The other thing about Chris Weller's superstition, she will always sit on the 4th chair from the end. You'll never find her sitting anywhere else.
She's over there knocking again.
And Sampson is trying to knock on the door. Whistle, Bradley. Carolina got to keep their heads high and get back in that trapping defense.
That's one thing Coach Hatchell wants. When they steal the ball, she wants Carolina to convert and score.
Ms. Rocky now to Daphne Lee. Back to Ms. Rocky. Shot clock's at 19. Blocking call, Emily Johnson, and Emily is really upset at Harry Coffey for that call. Emily was moving, but Ms. Rocky was pushing off. That's number 5 on Emily. So the senior from Statesville goes out with 1:55 left to play. The 3rd Lady Tar Heels to go to the bench this afternoon.
Well, Coach Hatchell and Coach Potter have been working with Tony Montgomery at point, and it makes you wonder who are they going to put in for Emily Johnson. They'll probably, against the state game when Emily fouled out, Leanne Kennedy tried to take control, and she did a good job, but that's one thing that Carolina is trying to do, find a point guard to take Emily Johnson's place when she's fouled out.
Stephanie Lawrence, that's one of the holes that Carolina's going to have to fill next year, because Emily is one of the seniors along with Leanne Kennedy on this Carolina crowd this year that played so well. You can see there the Carolina bench supporting Emily as she goes to the sideline. 8 points for Emily today, but you don't measure her value in points. Ms. Rocky at the free throw line. 11 points today, 1 out of 1 at the free throw line. She averages 8.5 points per game, is 3rd in the conference in assists. She had 18 in the first meeting between these two teams in Maryland. 82-75. There was Chris Weller doing a little 3 knocks on her head, 3 knocks on the floor. It worked that time. Got the basket for Ms. Rocky. Steal by Daphne Lee. Gets it out to Andrew and back to Ms. Rocky. Chris Weller says spread it out.
If I was Coach Hatchell, I'd just be in a deny man-to-man. Do not let your man catch that ball.
Lee picks up the loose ball. 9 seconds on the shot clock. Ball's on the floor. Who's got it? Carolina comes out with it. And now Bowles strips it from Sampson, and Bowles gets the basket. 85-75 with 1:13 to go. When you read the score of this one in the paper, it's not going to tell you how close this game was today. Lawrence for 3 points. So our congratulations from Heather and me to Tanya Sampson of Carolina and Michelle Andrew of Maryland, our Harris Teeter Sara Lee players of the game. Now Carolina is going to have to go to the foul situation as we go under a minute to play. Bowles gets around Lawrence, out to Ms. Rocky. And there's not anybody good on the floor to foul for Maryland right now. They all are excellent free throw shooters. 85-78 game. Ms. Rocky is fouled by Leanne Kennedy. Second foul on Leanne. And Ms. Rocky is 3 out of 3 at the line.
Well, I would say that would probably, Leanne had to foul, but Ms. Rocky shooting that 89%. You hate to foul her.
Well, she missed it. Hicks gets the rebound, and she's fouled by Gillingham. That'll be the 5th foul on Gwendolyn Gillingham. But Gwendolyn played a super game today, Heather.
She sure did. She came off that bench ready to play, ready to score, ready to play some defense. That's the best I've ever seen her play.
30-30.
Want to know what Maryland's done at the free throw line today? 31 out of 35. 32 out of 36. Daphne Lee tied up by Stephanie Lawrence, and Lawrence gets the foul. That's her 3rd. So Carolina now will go next to Duke, carrying a 2-game losing streak in the Atlantic Coast Conference with a loss to North Carolina State and a loss here today to Maryland. Look at this three, not 3 times. Notice there she's sitting in the 4th chair. That's Teresa Gannett, one of her graduate assistant coaches.
Lee also played in the 1990 U.S. Junior National Team in the 1990 Sports Olympic Festival. You know, Maryland has had 5 players that have been to the Olympics, so she produces some quality players at that university.
Leanne Kennedy from 3-point range. Battle for the rebound. Hicks comes out with it, gets it out to Bowles. She loses it momentarily. Shot clock is turned off now. You're looking at the game clock. Here's a whistle foul on Dawn Bradley. Bradley got a foul. She was the only one who'd been in the game for Carolina and hadn't been called for a foul today, so she had to pick hers up so that she could demand respect in the locker room afterwards. Sylvia Hatchell's record now this year going to 16-5, 5-5 in the Atlantic Coast Conference. Maryland will go to a 20-win season. 18 points now for Bowles. 20-1 for the Maryland Terrapins. 10-0 in the Atlantic Coast Conference. Turner, number 21, goes out of the Carolina lineup. She's a 6-foot-tall sophomore from Sherrills Ford, North Carolina. And Bowles finishes off at the free throw line.
Coach Hatchell put number 41 in, Tanya Lamb, to shoot some 3-pointers if they could hang on to the ball.
Leanne fouls Daphne Lee. She goes to the basket, and for Leanne, that's her 3rd personal foul.
Kennedy was going to make sure Lee did not make that shot.
90-78. We mentioned Maryland averaging 82.3 per contest this year, 86 a game in the Atlantic Coast Conference Wars, and they're over those numbers today. Lee steps up, hits it again. Okay, Daphne has scored 1 field goal and 11 points at the free throw line. Jill Sudrick coming in, replacing Leanne Kennedy. So 2 times this year, Carolina and Maryland have met. And Maryland will win both of them, but Carolina battled them down to the wire both times.
Well, I guess, as you said earlier, 3 times a charm or 3 times you're out.
Well, or the other way is what happens twice happens 3 times, and that's what happened this time.
Right.
Big game coming up next week when Maryland and Virginia play. It'll be 1 against 2, so Maryland wins it, 92-78. Our final score from Carmichael. We'll be back with a post-game show after this pause for station identification.
Don't be dull, be dazzling. Dazzle with the Bedazzler, the kit that can change your wardrobe from dull to daring. Just place the...
Over the years, I pawned most of my...
Day as Maryland posts a 92-78 win over Carolina. Now from Carmichael Auditorium, for all of us at Mustin Sports, I'm Reese Edwards for Heather Thompson saying so long, everybody. The other thing about Chris Weller's superstition, she will always sit on the fourth chair from the end.